Hey guys, today we're finally back with a third episode of drum synthesis from scratch, and today we'll be making some kick drums. Here I've loaded an audio file, which is a kick from Virtual Riot's Heavy Bass Design sample pack, and this is the first kick in the pack. It sounds like this. And we'll be trying to recreate something sort of similar to this in Kick 2. And just remember, if you guys don't have Kick 2, you can totally apply what I'll be showing you here to your own plugins. For example, Serum. You can modulate the pitch and the amplitude in the LFO, just like I'm about to do here. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing in this video. I haven't planned this out at all. So I'm just going to try to replicate this kick, and let's just see where it goes. Anyways, I'm just going to zoom in on this waveform and just see. Cool. And when you're making kicks, there's two parts to it. There's the sub, which is the low part of the kick, and then there's like the click, which is the part of the kick that has the higher frequencies. So anyways, I'll try to copy this sub right now. And a good way to copy sub is just go to your audio track with the kick in it, and then just turn on your auto filter or EQ, whatever you want, and just roll down the cutoff. Okay, now you can hear that sub nice and clearly. So let's get started. First thing I'll do is just shape the amplitude a little bit. Okay, now the pitch. So let's mess around with this and see what we can do. And you can tune the pitch too in Kick 2, which is really awesome. Okay, mine sounds a little bit too short. Alright, so now I'm at a point where the two kicks sound pretty similar in the sub. Yeah, as you can hear, they sound sort of similar. So now I can start moving on to the click part. So I'm just going to take off this auto filter and just listen to the kick. Actually, I could put on auto filter, but just put a high pass actually, just to see how the click sounds. Alright, so I can't replicate that exactly, but I can choose from a factory library here in Kick 2, which has some pretty good clicks. Or if I really wanted, what I could do is actually just high pass this audio file and then just freeze it and flatten it and then import it into Kick 2 as a click. And that's if you really want to replicate a certain kick that you love. But right now I don't want to do that. I'm going to sort of make a more original sounding kick. So I'm just going to sort through the factory clicks that Kick 2 has. Okay, so I found one that I like, and it sounds like this, and I think that works really well with the kick. Now, there's a few things I need to do. First of all, I need to cut out a little bit of the low end. Maybe lower the volume a little bit. And then I can shape it right here. And I'm actually going to do this, because as you'll see in a minute, I'm going to add another click to this kick. That sounds pretty good. Now I'm going to add another click, which will just be an actual click, as you'll hear. Not that one. Something like that. And then for my third click, which I'm going to add in, I'm just going to add in a white noise tail here, because as you can hear, the tail goes on for longer than in mine, which is just very short. You can hear it's a long tail. So I'm just going to go ahead into Serum and just make some white noise right now. And that sounds pretty good to me. So now what we can do is we can just freeze and flatten. And yeah, so now I'm going to drag it in Kick 2, which is really awesome. You can do this. So just drag in the file. And now we can manipulate it in here. And you can change the start point and the length of the sample as well, which is really awesome. It gives you tons of flexibility. But again, I think I'm going to make this sort of shape to leave room for the click that I've added. So this sounds pretty good. So now what we can do is actually just mess around with the controls built into Kick 2. You can mess around with the length, first of all. And that totally changes the kick. But I like it somewhere around there, I think. And I'm actually going to shorten this sample a little bit. Anyways, there's also distortion, which you can do. I like to just turn up the mix all the way, and then just turn up the distortion to see what each one does. That one's pretty crazy. Oh my god. I don't know if I'm actually going to use that distortion right now. I might just use the distortion outside of the plugin, but let me just mess with the drive. Okay, I like the drive like that. I don't think I'm going to use anything else in this plugin here in terms of effects. Now I'm just going to go out and just start adding post-processing. First thing, I'm just going to add an EQ just so I can see what's going on here. Okay, so nothing much really that I need cut out right now. I might just cut out a few lows because they could get crazy when I start to compress. And then anything around 500 Hertz is not really meant to be in your drums because that's where a lot of the other instruments in the mix will usually sit. So I like to cut out just a slight cut right there. One other thing that I might do is just turn down all the levels here inside of Kick 2 because it is clipping right now. Okay, I think it's a little bit better. I can always turn up the gain outside of Kick 2. Yeah, that needs to be down a little bit. Aside from that, I could start doing some saturation. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Can do a bit more saturation maybe. It needs to be a bit more in your face. So after some EQing, I might just do more compression and saturation. I might use drum bus actually. Might just lift the top end up a little bit. Okay, yeah, I'm actually going to use drum bus now. I could also use some sausage fattener. Okay, so now this is sort of when you have to go back to your original patch and just start tweaking things. So first of all, I want this white noise a bit lower. Just a bit. I also want to just tweak this sub here. And it needs to be a bit shorter in comparison to the clicks. So I'm actually just going to scale back this volume right here. And let's just see how that sounds. Okay, one thing I noticed immediately after just soloing it for a bit is that the sub is really loud. So now I can actually just put on a limiter. And now you have to just mess with the release in order to get the perfect balance of distortion and retaining the original timing of the kick. And that sounds pretty tight. I could always use Shaper Box if I want to make this sound a bit tighter even. Alright, and I think that's pretty much all we can do with this kick. I mean, compared to a Virtual Riot kick, I mean, it doesn't sound amazing. So although this kick might not sound exactly like this one, you can definitely just apply these techniques and just practice them, and eventually you'll end up with a pretty good sounding kick. So anyways, that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.